Okay, today we're going to take a look at slope and slope from a graph. But let's back up a little bit. Slope might be a word that's not ringing a bell. Like maybe that's just not a term that you've used very much, but you have looked at slope. When we talk about slope, it's also known as the rate of change. We can call it the constant of proportionality. Again, rise over run. All of those words that you've heard really just break down to we're trying to find the slope of a line. And here's some important vocab. So this is going to be one of those places where you'll want to pause your video, make sure you get everything written in. The rate of change is a ratio that shows how one variable changes with respect to another. On a linear graph, this is called the slope of the line. Slope is written as a ratio of the vertical change, or the rise, to the horizontal change, or the run, between any 2 points on a line. This remains constant for any 2 points on the same line. Slope is written as a fraction in simplest form, and the variable for slope is the lowercase m. So up next, we're going to talk about types of slope. There are 4 types of slope. First, we have a line that would be going up and to the right. Up and to the right, let's get those arrows on that line, is a positive slope. Now, if we have a slope that is headed down to the right, we call that a negative slope. Now, what's important with positive and negative is we got to think about it as if we're reading a book. So it's from left to right. So left to right, it's headed up. Left to right, a negative is headed down. And then we have 2 specials. We have a flat line or a horizontal line. Remember, this is horizontal when it goes side to side. And a horizontal line has a slope of 0. It's not headed up, it's not headed down, it's flat. That's a 0 slope. But with the horizontal line, the opposite would be a vertical line. So a line that is up and down. Well, here we call this undefined. So we have positive, negative, 0, and undefined. There are 4, the big 4 types of slope. Okay, so finding the slope on a graph, lowercase m is how we write slope, and remember that is rise over run. So we actually use a right triangle on the graph to help us figure out how far do we rise and then how far do we run. So here in number 1, as you can see, I've already have little dots on here for you, the coordinates to show you where they're perfect. There are other places on the graph that it's also perfect. This is just to kind of help us see a little better. But rise over run, we're going to draw a triangle that connects those 2. So rise, if I was to rise, I could rise up, and then I would run over. Again, it has to be a right triangle, has to go at a 90-degree angle. This is a 90-degree angle here, so it has to be a right triangle. Well, how far did we rise up? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I would say my rise, or my rise is in the numerator, 7. Because I went up, it's positive. Okay, now I'm going to run over. 1, 2, 3, 4. I went towards the right, so it's also positive. So I have 7 over 4. Now, when I look at number 2, if you notice, it is headed down slope, right? That's the negative. So I already know that my end result is going to be a negative. So I'm going to start with m equals, I want rise over run. So from here to here, again, I'm going to draw a right triangle. I'm going to highlight that here. Now, on the rise, to move from left to right, I actually am falling down. So that's 1, 2, 3 spaces. And as I'm going in a negative direction, that's a negative 3. So negative 3. Then I need to run. Now, I'm running forward, so that's a positive. So I'm running forward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 spaces. So negative 3 over 9. Well, wait a second. Negative 3 over 9, that is not simplified. 3 and 9 both divide by 3. So our final answer would be that the slope is negative. Well, 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 9 divided by 3 is 3. You do have to put your answers in simplest form, or it will typically tell you that it is incorrect. That is just an important piece of math. Okay, number 3, well, look at that. That's a flat line, right? So my slope, we talked about this a second ago up here earlier. The slope of a flat line is 0, and here's why. If I go ahead and I look at it as rise, it doesn't rise or fall. So I have a 0 rise or fall. And even if I go between the points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0 over 4, we'll type that up. 0 divided by 4 is 0. I can have 0 cookies, pass them out to my 4 friends, and we all have 0 cookies. That is absolutely possible. But what happens here next is this undefined. And these are just ones that you're going to have to remember. This is undefined, a vertical line up and down. And yes, you have to write out the word undefined. When I have an undefined, I'm going up 1, 2, 3, it looks like 5. It's asking me what to go up 5. And I don't move left or right, so that's 0. Well, I can't take the number 5 and divide it into nothing. It exists. I can't turn it into nothing, which is why it's undefined. If you put this in your calculator, what's 5 divided by 0, you are going to get an error because I cannot divide 5 by 0. But we don't write error on our paper. We write the word undefined. Okay, so what I'd like for you to do here is I'd like for you to take a look at 5, 6, 7, and 8 on your own. Try them on your own. So pause the video, try them, and then come back and see. Okay, so let's compare. For 5, we went up 5 over 3. So we rise 5 positive, forward 3, positive 3, 5 over 3. And 5 over 3 does not simplify, so we're good to go. In number 6, moving left to right, we had to move down 3, that's a negative, forward 1, positive. So our rise was negative, our run was positive, negative 3 over 1, and negative 3 over 1 will divide, and that's going to be my slope of negative 3. And number 7, this is a positive slope, it's headed up the hill, so we go up 4, forward 2, 4 over 2 simplifies to positive 2. And then in number 8, you're going to drop 4 and then run forward 4, so negative 4 over 4 is negative 1. So there's 5, 6, 7, 8. How about you pause again and you try 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, number 9 has a negative slope, so we're at negative 3 over 4. Number 10 drops 5 and then goes forward 1, so negative 5 over 1, which simplifies to negative 5. 11 is a vertical line. All vertical lines have a slope of undefined. And then in number 12, this is a positive slope. It's going up and over to the right, so up and forward. So I go up 2 over 3. I have 2/3, and that is already simplified. All right, in our notes here, we've got 4 more to take a look at. Go ahead and pause, try those out. Well, here in number 13, we had a positive. It was headed up 1 and then forward 4, so 1 over 4. In number 14, we were dropping down 2 and then going forward 4, so down is a negative, forward is a positive, so negative 2 over 4. Now those both will simplify by 2, so negative 1/2. In number 5, again, a positive slope. We're going up. So if you count, we go up 2, rise 2, run 6, so 2 over 6. Always simplify. 2 and 6 will both divide by 1, so I have 1 over 3. And then on number 16, my slope is a horizontal, and all horizontal lines have a slope of 0.